So thank you for coming back again. I will take like 30 minutes more. We were discussing the income distribution in the last session of today's class. And if you see that if Gini is higher, it means that the income distribution is worse, like it's in the favor of the rich. And when the income distribution, which is like represented by A, whereas in case of B, the value of the Gini is 0.048, which is quite low. It means that the income distribution is leading towards more equality. So you should know only these two things. Uh, After income distribution, you see here the selected countries. We included Sweden in this one because that's a Scandinavian country and it's have a very low level of inequality there. So let's compare the latest result. जी कुछ कह रहे हैं आप लोग? So in case of Australia, income distribution is 0.33, whereas Canada it's 0.311, which is close to the it says it for 2010 it's 0.317. And in UK for 2010 is 0.334. We're very same distribution in these three countries, where the UK, after UK we have the US, where the income distribution is slightly worse, like it's 0.367. But in case of Sweden, it's a lowest at 0.23. So this is like a data of the. I will give an address of the that you should ask ChatGPT or go to the income inequality lab and just find out what is the level of income distribution in your selected country. It's okay. Now move on to managing demographic changes. There are aged care, education, and the health. And you see that over the time, the aged care is increasing, whereas with this one, healthcare is also improving with the age, whereas the education is inversely related because people need education when they are young. So young people is like more education there. This is the primary budget balance. What does a primary budget balance mean? It means that your expenditure excluding the repayment of your loans. So it's like a current expenditures, not the expenditure incurred in the past. So you see here in case of like the Australia, the primary balance as percent of GDP was surplus till 2000, and it's projected to increase in the coming years. Now we talk about the public debt. If you have any question, you can ask. Government can finance their spending either by taxes, either they can borrow money from market, money market or the capital market, wherever they can have resources, or they can print money to finance their spending. So these three resources are used to finance the spendings. Now we will spending or finance by either taxes, by loans, or by printing money. The typical word for printing money is like a seigniorage, and you can have an idea that seigniorage means that when you print money by yourself. So government have a budget constraint. The concept that the government spending has to be financed either by taxes, either by the government, by the borrowing. So that budget constraint is that the government should have, if G is the government expenditure and transfer payments is Q, then we can say that then BT is the security level. The securities mean the bonds or the treasury bill bonds the government has owing at the previous period. Any new borrowing in the period T, like current, is like a difference between the current borrowing minus the borrowing they have, the stock of borrowing they have done in the last period. If it's positive, it means the government is borrowing. So this, just concentrate on this one. BT is the stock of borrowing in the current period, and BT minus 1 is the stock of borrowing in the last period. So the difference is the flow of borrowing during the current period. If it's positive, what is it? It means that the government is borrowing more money, which is the interest paid on its stock of debt will be the last year debt. You will be paying something on interest, and interest rate is R, and BT minus 1 is the total borrowing in the start of the current period, which is the last period. So this will be the interest payments. Now you have to be carefully identify this identity. GT is the government spending, plus QT is the transfer payments, and plus RBT minus 1 is the interest payments during the current period. This is the total expenditure of an individual, of a government, which has to be financed by either taxes, which is T, either by the borrowing during the current period, which is the delta, or the difference between BT and BT minus 1. किसी को समझ नहीं आई तो दोबारा पूछ सकता है।
सर यहाँ पे ये क्यूटी क्या है?
क्यूटी वो ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स हैं जो इनइक्वालिटी कम करने के लिए आप करते हैं ना, जैसे लोगों को बेनजीर इनकम सपोर्ट प्रोग्राम में पैसे दे दिए, तो उसको जरा अलहदा से हमने लिख दिया यहाँ पे। जैसे कि हम कह दें कि जिनको पास खाने के पैसे नहीं है, हम उनको $100 देंगे पर मंथ फॉर देयर फूड, या बच्चों के लिए हम मिल्क प्रोवाइड करेंगे। तो इस तरह की जो वेलफेयर की पेमेंट्स होती हैं, ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स। सो दिस कैन बी रीअरेंज्ड। अगर आप पिछली क्वेश्चन को देखें और टी को हम उठा के लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे ले आते हैं, तो सी प्लस क्यू माइनस टी विल बी the government's deficit if G plus Q is greater than T. And on the right hand side, we have the difference or the new borrowing. So this is what we have today. And now we will see how we will interpret this one. If left hand side is greater than the right hand side, if the left hand side is negative, it means that we have a budget surplus. If it's negative, then we can say that it's the government is borrowing, it has a deficit. So when the G plus Q and RBT minus 1 is significantly higher than the taxes, it implies that the government is borrowing every year so much that it will be having a level of debt which is the BT. So BT is the level of debt which is increasing, and if we have T is greater than these three numbers, it means that the government debt is decreasing. Low levels of public debt are desirable to reduce crowding out. Now, this is a concept. Crowding out का क्या मतलब होता है? Crowding out वो चीज होती है जब गवर्नमेंट आप पे बहुत ज्यादा टैक्सेस लगाने लग जाए और खर्चे बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ा दे, तो लोगों की सेव करने की कैपेसिटी कम हो जाएगी, और जब लोग सेव नहीं कर पाएंगे तो उसके बाद वो इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो क्राउडिंग आउट एक फिनोमेना होता है जिसका मतलब ये है कि जब आप ज्यादा गवर्नमेंट अपना डेट बढ़ाती है तो लोगों के पास खर्च करने के लिए या इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए कम पैसे बच जाते हैं। तो इसी सूरत को आप क्या कहते हैं कि दिस इज क्राउडिंग आउट। यू शुड नो दिस कॉन्सेप्ट। इस दफा हमारे चैप्टर में काफी कॉन्सेप्ट थे जो कि आपको थोड़े से पढ़ने पड़ेंगे। Crowding out borrowing because of deficit can be sustained forever. Eventually, surpluses would be required to reduce the debt. इसलिए पाकिस्तान का भी प्राइमरी सरप्लस और करंट अकाउंट जो है वो भी सरप्लस में इसलिए रखा गया है ताकि गवर्नमेंट चाह रही है कि हम अपने डेट लेवल को रिड्यूस कर सकें। Public debt have a net benefit for the economy even when allowing for the crowding out, क्योंकि इससे इनइक्वालिटी जरा कम होती है, इक्वालिटी बेहतर होती है। सच प्रोजेक्ट हैव बीन एस्टिमेटेड कि किसी भी गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग से अगर आपकी पुअर की फेवर में कोई प्रोजेक्ट है, उनको बेनिफिट मिल रहे हैं, तो उस सूरत में आप डेट रेज कर लेंगे तो उस प्रोजेक्ट से जितने रेवेन्यूज आएंगे, अगर दे रेवेन्यूज आर हायर देन द इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट, तो वो बेनिफिशियल होगा। क्वेश्चंस हैं तो पूछ सकते हैं या मैं नया चैप्टर शुरू कर दूं? जी, कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं तो बताइए। आपका फिजिकल के चैप्टर से एक आपकी असाइनमेंट्स और आपके पेपर्स और ये सारा कुछ मैं कल तक फाइनल कर दूंगा। एनी क्वेश्चंस? नो क्वेश्चंस? देन यू वांट टू another suggestion I need? Should I go for another chapter or you want to finish the class now? Yes, please. बताना भी है ये।
क्या कर रहा है? ये बंद क्यों नहीं किया तूने पहले? तूने पहले बंद क्यों नहीं किया?